So this is going to be another topic. This is going to be a very, very different topic. Thought I would make this video. I'm not trying to point fingers. I'm not, obviously, there's just a lot of stuff that's going on. I particularly don't know the stories to a lot of these people. But, I didn't. This is a story about racism and Kelly Marie. From my understanding, I used to get on DallasDanceMusic.com. I didn't know there was monitors and whatever, all the stuff that was going on. And Chris Martinez, I think Michael Ross got on there a couple of times, but mostly Chris and Eric and me got on there all the time. There's a message board, usually had all the different parties, flyers, even producer music talks, but I keep hitting my chest with this electronic device, but Kelly Marie was, had supposedly had 2 children with DeMarcus Lewis. And DeMarcus Lewis, a legendary DJ, he's produced like over 100 vinyl tracks. Like, I'm not even kidding. And never got a big major multi-million record deal. And everyone knew him. He was like the legend. And he played for a few different places. And and I know he moved to Russia for like 3 or 4 years or something like that after he got a divorce or left Kelly Marie. But I wanted to say this, that I only maybe had one conversation with her, and I used to see her pretty frequently. Very, very outgoing person, definitely. Very outgoing, and a lot of curiosity. And I remember her at Crave playing a couple times, offered me a beer, and as pretty, as attractive she was, I had never had any female really approach of sort of friendly vibe at that time, and was like, oh, here you, and I think she offered me some of the beer that she wanted, and I barely just met her. She was smoking hot. For a girl to be that attractive, and at the time, I didn't know she had kids. I think I was 19 or 18. And she played at Crave a couple of times and dressed in high heels. And a very pretty girl. Anyway, I don't know any of her story. I know she hung around Michael Rossiter and Chris Martinez, where she went to a party and they talked really bad about her. Because I thought she was very attractive. And I thought, man, if I ever get the chance to talk to her, heck yeah. Because she knew a lot about the music world. And, obviously she was in a prior relationship. But they would talk really nasty about her, and they were saying like, didn't follow them. Me personally, I remember thinking to myself, I remember thinking to myself like, they were probably cock blocking me. When I looked at them, both of them, Chris Martinez, I knew that they were cock blocking me, because they always did things like that. When they knew that I had interest, or there was a beautiful girl, that they would say things like that because they didn't want me to get with a woman. They didn't want me to get with a girl. And it was always conversation. It wasn't just when I was around other girls or other adults or other people. It was whenever I would just bring up the conversation. It was to mentally poison and deter me mentally from them and contaminate them of what their character is. But I remember thinking to myself, because they were kind of discussing themselves, and I just didn't quite understand or believe so much of them. Everyone has a little dirtiness to them, but I just didn't really believe so much of that. But anyway, I remember them saying that, and I remember how they behaved sort of deterring me that. But I know that they were around. I think Michael said that he screwed Kelly Marie, and that was one of the things I remember him saying. And this is one of the reasons. Well, I was like, oh, too late. I'm not having sex with the same girl one of my friends had. And I really didn't know who this person is. But one of the things that most important I want to talk about racism, is I wanted to say, is that people used to get on DallasDanceMusic.com when I was like 18, 19, in my early 20s. And when Kelly Marie would get on there, they would be... Now keep in mind, the Dallas dance music community, the electronic dance community, is filled with homosexuals, okay? If you know the history of dance music, it was all for queers, blacks, and LBGT community. That's where the music all started, generated. All of it did. All of it did. And that's one of the reasons almost all DJs and professional DJs and producers are all gay. They're homosexuals, queers, and transgenders. Because that's where they are the developers of the music and the world, the evolution of dance music. So when people got on DallasDanceMusic.com, most of them were all homosexuals, and a lot of them were, and they would post some racist shit on there. They would post like, yeah, I'm gonna go to the zoo. They post a picture that said like, oh, I'm gonna go to the zoo and go pet my gorilla, and they would post it like right below Kelly Marie because she had sex with and had two kids with a black guy. And I thought it was important for me to talk about. Because this is the racism that nobody ever knew about. And you could probably look it up on Dallas Dance. If they don't have the website anymore, they shut it down. But there's a lot of pictures on there of, I think I had, a lot of Eric, Chris Martinez. But to show you evidence is why I wanted to make this video. The evidence is there. If you looked at all the postings of this real pretty, petite pretty girl, and they would post racist shit, and these were homosexuals. Why is the gay community saying so much racist shit? And they would post dark shit, like the shit that the pictures, like how people post funny pictures and shit. The things that people would post on there were racist shit. I mean, it was not something that was lightly said. It was like, you like fucking gorillas. That's what you fuck. And these were homosexuals. The gays were all like, oh, we're not racist. We're all about rainbow colors and all this other shit. That's not the truth. And the evidence was on there. And I remember her posting, so I used to always follow her postings, along with a few other friends and people I knew. And she'd always quickly try to defend herself. And I remember that, and I felt bad. I remember feeling bad because you could see her postings were like a sense of like to defend herself, and they would pick on her. And there were several people that would do this, that would consistently pick on her about her claiming they were having sex with gorillas. And I remember that, so I thought it was worth me posting this. If you go up that website, it shut it down a long time ago. It was on there for like 10 years. It was very popular. The most popular dance music website. And there's like 20,000 active users on there all the time. There's at least probably 10,000, and at least probably, I'd say, at least 1,000 consensually active people on that website. And I would estimate there's a lot of people on there. A lot of pictures. So I thought it was important for me to talk about, because this is the racist, prejudice things that she went through, and some of the things that, show evidence of what the gay community was doing. It was a frequent thing. I remember her trying to defend herself, and I remember feeling bad, and I was like, man, these motherfuckers are saying some racist shit to her. Like, they would post the pictures and to mention comments just to antagonize it that she fucked black people and gorillas. And I remember seeing them posting pictures of that, and it wasn't just like a couple weeks. This was like, she fucks the gorillas, she fucks the blacks, she only likes black dick, and she was like big, and anyway, I thought it was important for me to talk about, because it was real prejudiced. It was very, very prejudiced. So I thought it was worth talking about. I felt very regretful I didn't get her number at the time. I remember just thinking to myself, because at 19 years old when I saw her, man, this girl was smoking hot, pretty. I mean, beautiful feet, beautiful girl, and very curiosity of other people, and a lot of curiosity, and I thought I would make this because Yeah, I did feel very regretful, not having the chance. I would have shacked up in her any day of the week. This girl was beautiful, and you know, I'd hear comments like that she would say that was very much in trying to defend herself in the sense of like, that she only liked big black dongs and whatnot, and she tried to represent her as a woman, and she is a woman, but you got to understand how many people were being nasty to her. At this time, it was like after DeMarcus Lewis, or right after DeMarcus Lewis. But I thought I'd make a video of that. There was a lot of people who used to say a lot of racist shit. And I remember that. But I do remember, asking questions like, "Oh, you saw Kelly Marie at a party or whatever?" Because anytime Chris Martinez or Michael Rossiter or even Eric Quintero knew there was a party for us to go to and there was going to be beautiful girls there, they never liked that because they always wanted to determine to keep me single and to keep me placed because I was only good for their resources. I was very dehumanized mentally to them to try to train me that way because I tolerated so much trash talking from Michael. And because I didn't have money and I got kicked out of my house and they just basically barged into my house and figured out what my life system was and what are you going to give me? It was very selfish and greed to those boiling points that you can't even imagine that nobody cared but me. And then when I cared about it, they beat the fuck out of me not to say anything about it, the electronic devices and over time. But but I thought it was worth me talking about. It just shows that the gay community and how racist they were and what was going on, and some of the prejudice shit that was going on with all that. I remember